As we transition into running influencership.
Sino nagsabi sa'yo? Sobrang feeling yun.
How was it running in the relatively cool? Kasi parang kang tumatakbo si aircon di ba? Ito ka lang makakita ng di ba? Yung mas lamang na ang nanunood ng Senate hearing. Kumpara sa mga drama shows ngayon. It's intense.
May meme ako nakita sa Facebook na parang, ano ba yan? Kakancel ko na yung Netflix subscription ko. At least dito sa Senate free.
Welcome to Adulting with Joyce Pring. Watch the full video of this episode on my channel, www.youtube.com/JoycePringTV. And if you want to level up your adulting game, check out joycepring.com/collections for my digital products and course.
Kaya ka ba naka-Australia t-shirt?
Yung pala yun!
Yung pala yun.
I didn't think anybody would notice. Pero thank you, baby. We've returned from the land down under.
Yes, that's
so
right.
How was it for you?
I didn't want to go home, to be honest. Yes, I just wanted to stay there in their parks and their free museums and in the arms of my good friends who have migrated there and who have children the same age as ours. So it was one of the best 3 weeks of my life, to be honest.
Okay,
Really.
so 5 things you like about it. And we discussed this in private.
Yeah.
And then sige. Then I'll go. I don't wanna discuss. I was gonna say 5 things you don't like about it. But let's stay positive sa sa podcast na ito, no? Positive lang tayo.
Oh! Sige. 5 things that I loved about Australia. The first one would be the lifestyle. Everything closes at 5. And I have this theory because Australians are generally very cheerful, very friendly. Like, we've traveled to many places, and Australians have to be in the top 3 of the nicest people that we've ever encountered. And the nice people that we encounter, I find is coming from places na maganda yung lifestyle talaga nila. So, feeling ko dahil hindi sila bombarded with work or parang yun lang ginagawa nila sa life, parang mas may chance sila to relax. Pangalawa, yung mga free stuff nila. So, ang daming free. Like, museums are free, the beautiful parks are free, everything. So good. Pangatlo, yung choices nila sa food. There are so many healthy food choices in the grocery that are so affordable. As in to the point na mas mura pa kesa sa grocery natin dito sa Pilipinas, which just shocked me to my core. Pang-apat, yung open spaces. And the things that you can do. So there are like lots of beaches. You can go there for free. You can go for a picnic on the beach and you don't have to pay anything. You can go for a picnic in the park and you don't have to pay anything. Everything is beautiful, well-maintained, and free. And the fifth will have to be the feeling of safety. It just felt like a really safe place because, I don't know, it felt really safe. Like, I didn't at all feel unsafe once, except for that one experience that we had in the playground. Pero that was more of like culture shock than being unsafe. So, yun. And it's 8 hours away from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Which is much better than the 18 or 24 hours that we have to travel most of the time for Europe or the States.
Tama. Well, sa akin naman, masaya that they're what do you call it, parang coastal cities. So majority ng cities nila nandun sa coastal di ba, coastal areas.
At least the ones that we visited kasi Adelaide,
actually
Melbourne,
majority
and Sydney.
Majority ng major cities nila
kasi
are
yung
along
gitna, barren na.
Is that the outback? Is that what you call it? The outback?
Yeah, yung gitna nila. So, unlivable yun, apparently, base sa,
or
research
very
natin.
few people live there.
Did you know that, we've been talking about it, 27 million ang population of Australia.
The whole country?
Yeah, the whole country. And compared to Metro Manila, 14.9 million ang population ng Metro Manila or ng NCR. That's already more than half of Australia's.
Just generally to say, the Philippines is much smaller by land size than Australia. And yet we have more in population.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So anyway, quickly, I love kangaroos. I love the kangaroos. They're so Adorable.
So
Wag lang ako
fascinated by
susuntukin or
kangaroos,
sisipain.
We didn't see the big ones. We just
Ayun,
saw
yung mga
the
brown na kasing laki ko daw, tapos parang nagbubuhat.
macho. Oo nga eh. Bakit nga hindi natin nakita, no?
Yeah.
Kahit sa zoos sa zoos sa farms.
So, apparently, nasa wild sila, tapos nocturnal ata sila. Tapos, lumalabas sila sa tuwing gabi. Eh, hindi naman tayo nagda-drive tuwing gabi sa mga areas that are far. So, yun, nung time na nandun tayo sa wedding nila Faith, we were watching out for that.
yeah,
diba?
in Adelaide.
Oo. So, parang mga dusk, ganun sila lumalabas at saka kalagitnaan ng gabi. O yan yung ganyan.
Ayan.
Macho, di ba?
Wow.
Hindi
Pakita
sila
natin
hindi
yung
sila
spot.
nakita. Apparently, kapag pumunta ka sa hindi mga highways na lugar, yung mga yan na ano sila, para na-attract sila sa light.
Mm-hmm.
So, ang daming mga accidents with kangaroos that they just jump in front of the car. So anyway, yun. But I love them. They're adorbs.
Baba, hindi to full podcast,
Oo nga eh. And
So,
I like
what else do you love about
I like
Australia?
the whey protein. Pangatlo na yata yun. Whey protein. Maliban sa mga kangaroos in the wild, I love the zoos.
Yes,
Hindi
that's
yung
right.
God of Thunder.
Okay.
Zeus as
Baba,
in...
come on. This is our opening. Not our
Oo.
full podcast.
Ayun. So, and then lastly, I love the steaks.
Oh, the
aesthetics.
food. Yeah.
Hindi yung aesthetics,
Okay.
The steaks.
So out of the three, so we went to three different places. We went through Sydney first. We were in Sydney for 6 days. We were in Adelaide for 7 days or 8 days. And then we were also in Melbourne for another 8 days. Which of the three stops did you enjoy the most and why? Just quickly.
Sydney, siguro.
Sydney? Bakit Sydney?
Ah,
It's the weather that you like there.
yun tama lang.
Yeah.
Medyo moody yung yung Melbourne. 'Di ba? Totoo naman.
Known to be moody weather talaga.
Moody. Yung Adelaide may may mga I don't know. It's up there with Sydney, but I feel like it's may mga pagkukulang pa rin siya. Sa mata ko. Sa mata ko ng mga requirements ko hindi as a city na pagkukulang ha. I just wanna say, hindi, guys, baka
Cancelled ka na ni
cancel
Faith
ako,
Vidanes.
Hindi, may mga hinahanap pa akong iba like transportation. So, yung public transportation.
Shoutout nga pala kay Tito Joel who drove us around in Adelaide.
And also our friends from the Covenant restaurant in
Yes.
Adelaide.
Best Filipino food in Adelaide.
That's
Check
the
it
only
out.
time we ate Filipino in our whole 3-week in Australia.
That was the
Section.
only time that Elian finished 3 plates of food again.
Yeah.
Dahil may sinigang sila.
Kita mo yun.
Pinoy na Pinoy yung anak
Oo,
namin.
tsaka pure Pinoy yung staff.
Oo, it was really cool. It
Yeah,
was really
pure
cool.
Pinoy.
At masarap yung food. Hindi siya fusion Filipino,
just-
as in traditional Filipino food, which was
Bagoong,
pretty good.
kare-kare.
Yeah, really good. So, to conclude, the Australia trip was absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 would come back again. Hopefully. We haven't even left the place and we were already thinking of, okay, when can we come back?
Yeah. Not bad pala yung 8 hours with the kids on the plane.
Lalo na kung red eye.
Oo.
Shout out to Cebu Pacific.
Kasi, 3/4 ng flight, tulog sila.
Oo.
You just have to, wrestle the 1-2 hour. Usually, they're hungry lang naman. So
Yeah,
usually-
and they just hang out. And ang ganda ng bagong planes ng Cebu Pacific, no?
Oo.
It's really nice. The food is good. Staff's always very friendly at
Yeah.
Cebu Pacific. And no delays, so pretty good experience.
Yeah. So we can name the first part of this episode Australia recap. But we have a lot to
Ilang
get to.
minutes yun, Kiara? Oh, yun na yun. Tingnan
But
mo.
we have a lot to get to. Then you also ran the Sydney, di ba? Fun run.
Yes.
Was it a Sydney fun run? Was it called that?
It's called Sydney Half Marathon.
Oo.
So, it's a Sydney Half Marathon. That's 21 kilometers. But, because I felt like I wasn't ready to do 21 kilometers yet, I did the 10 kilometers. So, that was something else. As in, that was one of the best experiences of my life.
As we transition into running influencership,
Sino nagsabi sa'yo? Sobrang feeling,
Hindi, ano
Kami
yung...
kasi mga barkada ni Coach Rio. Wow!
Ganito kasi yan, bebe. If you don't claim it, nobody will.
No, that's not how it works.
Ha? Hindi. So, anyway, we've been posting a lot and we've been running a lot because it's not just what we post, diba? We want to post, but it's what we enjoy doing currently.
Yeah.
So, yan.
Di na kami masyado nagde-date night dahil yun na yung dates namin.
Bebe, let the people know. How was it running in the relatively cold? Because, syempre,
I did my best 10K.
kasi parang kang tumatakbo sa aircon di ba?
Oo, super. Actually, it was quite warm na eh. 'Di ba? So we arrived in Sydney. It was pretty warm already. Parang more spring na siya than winter. And on the day of the race mismo, it was overcast and quite warm. So I could have removed my jacket, but then dun ko na pin yung bib ko. So hindi ko na tinanggal yung jacket ko.
Oo. So for context, yung weather na yun was like 18 to 22.
Hindi,
type
mga
of-
21
Oh,
to
21.
23.
So para kang nasa
Baguio.
aircon. Oh.
Parang ganun.
Oh, para kang nasa aircon.
It was still quite nippy during the early morning. So
Oh, so
I did my personal best. So I ran the 10K. Yung pace ko was 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Just to give you an idea, my pace for long runs would be around 7 and 40. So doon, natapos ko yung 10K ko in 1 hour and 13 minutes yung official time ko. On my watch, it's 1 hour, 11 minutes.
do you think it was the weather or do you think it was the super batak Australian old people that were also running
That motivated me?
in that incredible pace?
Actually, kwento ko na lang din. I was hanging out because I was by myself, right? So parang there was this elderly woman who was probably in her mid-60s, as in almost, basta senior na siya. Sure ako senior na siya. And she was asking me like, oh, what time is the gun start and things like that. And casually she said like, oh, one of my girlfriends is running the half. So I'm just here to run the 10K. And I'm like, tita, ang tindi mo. Nakasando lang siya, naka-legging siya, gano'n. And to think that her girlfriend, meaning somebody who is her friend, who's probably her age, is running the half marathon, is crazy to me. But they run so fast, as in. So I think it's both. It's the beautiful weather, that it was so easy to run in. And you know this about me, ang number one na kalaban ko talaga after I gave birth is heat. Parang my hormones are my body's just more sensitive to heat. As nahihirapan ako tumakbo or mag-workout kapag mainit. Nag-aaway kami ni Juancho. As in like, ayokong tumakbo ng 3K in the sun because it's just too hot. Like, I could feel my ears flaring up, ganong levels.
Oh,
But then in Australia, because it was cold, parang I was able to run faster.
it was pleasant. At
pretty
yun rin
fast.
yung advantages ng ibang mga countries also when it comes to running is yung accessibility for them to train. Maliban sa
Pero ang kalaban naman nila, winter. Pag
well,
malamig.
yes. Pero a lot of their pero kasi wag lang yung may snow at saka yung negatives. Yun talaga wala. Wag indoor ganun. Pero ilang months lang naman yun out of the year. Pero the thing is, sa kanila, yung accessibility nila of training, the two things. Number one, yung location nila, they have designated running areas talaga that na hindi ka matatakot na baka masagasaan ako ng kotse, etc.
Yeah.
etc. At number two, yung time nila. Kunyari kapag ganyan, they can train all day. Tayo kasi, ang ideal running time natin dito sa
Tapos na
Pilipinas
by 9
would be, mamatay ka na pag nag-10 onwards ka na.
masyadong
Kasi
mainit.
it's too much, it's too hot. It's not even, di ba, healthy for your skin.
Yeah.
Sa kanila, kapag ganon, di ba, anong oras ka natapos?
Nag-start I think our gun start was around 8.
8 a.m.?
Oo.
You see? Tinan mo dito ang gun start ng mga half marathon, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., di ba?
Yeah.
Just to avoid,
Yung gun start ng half marathon nila was
Sun.
6 a.m. if I'm not mistaken.
Oo. So, at saka yung, syempre, yung food nila, more on protein sila. Kaya talaga pag kino-compare natin yung sarili natin, no matter how sipag we are, ano talaga tayo, may advantages pa rin talaga sila because of yun nga yung location nila at saka yung culture na nakalakihan nila.
Ituloy na natin to Australia podcast.
Syempre kasi naka-Australia shirt ako eh. Yun naman talaga yung ano nun, di ba?
But you know what it is also. And that's what we were talking about, 'di ba? Parang it's pretty much, and I'm sure we see this from rose-tinted glasses because we're not citizens or we don't live there naman. We haven't lived there in a long while. But just from a visitor's perspective, I think the thing that makes Australia really nice is you get to see their taxes at work talaga. I mean, kita mo yung food nila, yung public spaces nila, ang daming mga what they call like parents' rooms, where it's really just a toilet basically for family. So, my baby changing area, it's a whole different toilet from the male and female toilets. Their parks are so easy. Like, yun nga, meron mga running paths and everything. So, parang sabi ko, it makes sense, no, na sa Pilipinas kasi, if you want to do something fun, and of course, we have a lot of things to be grateful for in the Philippines. I'm not bashing the Philippines at all. I'm very grateful to be Filipino and to be living here. But doon, mako-compare mo lang na ang dami nilang mga nagagawa for free because nakikita nila yung taxes nila at work for something else. As compared to a developing country like the Philippines, na ang dami pa din talagang things that need to be developed and improved upon. Diba?
Yeah. We have our own charm.
What?
Yung Philippines has its own charm. Ito ka lang makakita ng ano, 'di ba? Yung mas lamang na ang nanunood ng Senate hearing. kumpara sa mga drama shows ngayon. It's intense. I mean, anyway.
Sabi nga, may meme ako nakita sa Facebook na parang, ano ba yan, kakancel ko na yung Netflix subscription ko. At least dito sa Senate, free.
Oo, di ba? Tapos kahit 4 hours yun, di ba nakatutok pa rin yung mga...
Oo, tama. Tapos malalaman may body double si Alice Go.
Oo. May kaibigan ako si Nico. Siyempre, matagal na nating inaano si Nico. Mini-mentor. Oo.
Alam niya ba?
So, sabi niya, pinanood ko yung Senate hearing. 4 hours yun. Weekday yung mga Senate hearing doon. Magtrabaho ka kaya? Bakit hindi na lang kaya yun yung unahin mo, Nico?
Oo nga, Nico. Highlights nga lang yung napapanood namin minsan eh.
Anyway, so, yeah, overall. So, as we move on.
Wala na tayong i-move on.
Hindi, meron ako. Because yun nga, since segue na natin sa sa running era natin in another country. So, we will be running again on October 5 sa Sundown Rundown sa Subic Bay. And it's gonna be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And sa mga sa mga running friends natin dyan.
Yes.
Since sabi ko kanina na running influencers na ata tayo. Subjective.
Saka na pag meron na kaming sponsors, then we can say that. New runners pa lang at this point.
So we invite you guys to join in. And meron tayong sa kanila, may pag-giveaway tayo.
Yeah, so we can give away passes for your run. So we can give away 5K, 10K, or the half marathon. Mm-hmm. Whichever you guys are keen to do so.
Okay. The only thing that you have to do is comment, syempre.
Ano yung comment nila?
Gusto ko niyan. Gusto ko niyan. Tapos make sure you follow the Sundown Rundown Instagram account.
What?
And of course, our personal Instagrams as well.
Okay.
Comment niya na gusto ko niyan. Pag ginawa niyo yun, mamimili kami randomly ng tig tatlo tayong pipili.
Tig tatlo ba?
Yes, we are authorized to give away 3 each.
3 each of what distance? Any distance?
Of any distance of their choice.
Ooh, cool.
And then, our team will get in touch with you.
1 5K, 1 10K, and then 1 21K na lang.
Yan Pero kung may gustong mag-run ng 10K, tatlong 10K, di go ahead. Kayo bahala, di ba?
Iba yung distances eh.
Oh, pero ano naman,
We're running the 10K,
Yeah.
just so you guys know. So, we'll be running the 10K.
We will be running. And it's gonna be fun, you know why?
Why?
Because sa dalawang run na ginawa ko, maliban yung sa'yo, we've been running in Vermosa lang. So it's gonna be different. It's a destination run.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be fun. It's gonna be our first destination run together. Because I did the Sydney half by myself. Yeah.
Pwede ko ba explain kung ba't di ako tumakbo? Kasi nagtatanong yung running fans ko.
My gosh. From your own mouth, 3 races pala yung natakbo mo. Wala pa doon. Wala ni isa doon naka-podium finish ka. My running fans. Okay, sige.
My running fans are Mom, Liam, and Aggie.
Yes, that's true. Hindi mo pa talaga ako sinama.
Hindi, syempre kasi
Mom, Liam, and Aggie. Alam mo na kung mama's boy si Juancho or hindi. Talagang inuna niya yung nanay niya. Yes, my number 1 fan, my mom.
because we are teammates.
Wow, sure.
Because we are teammates.
Sure.
Oo. Hindi mo naman, kunyari kung nasa team ka ni Lebron ngayon,
Ah.
wala ka naman maririnig doon na nagfa-fanboy siya doon sa di ba? Mga
Yeah,
team.
because he's LeBron. You're not LeBron. Okay.
So,
Explain mo na
nagtatanong
yung mga running fans.
Mga running fans ko so it's very tricky because
Ano yung tinatanong ng running fans mo muna?
ayaw nga pala. Tinatanong ng mga running fans ko, ba't di ka tumakbo nung Sydney Half Marathon?
But si Joyce lang.
Oo. Ang sagot ko dyan, because kailangan ng bantay ng mga bata.
Yes, that's
Ganon ang adulting.
Tama.
Na fit, going back full circle, sa title ng podcast na to.
To be fair to Juancho,
There has to be sacrifices.
how it happened was, I knew our dates, right? And I didn't sign up for anything. Kasi nga, ang tagal na itong trip na to, pero hindi pa kami nagsistart ng running era namin when we booked this trip. So, a month before our trip, I was like, baka naman merong races na pwede kong takbuhan dun. So, naghanap ako and merong sumakto yung Sydney half on the weekend that we were in Sydney. As in, God's provision lang, sakto. Yun yung date na andun kami. So, I asked Juancho, love, is it okay if I run this? And to be honest, nung una, nalungkot si Juancho kasi gusto niya din tumakbo, syempre. This is our thing, right? But this being the supportive and green flag husband that he was like, sige, ikaw na lang yung tumakbo. Ako na magbabantay sa mga bata.
Yeah.
So, I just want to say, love, thank you for your support.
Ay.
Kasi, alam kong ikaw ang may gustong tumakbo as a competitive guy na kagabi nung nagbo-bowling ako, wini-wish mo behind me na mag-gutter ball ako dahil ayaw mong matalo kita. Talagang pinagbigyan niya ako. Nakikita ko siya sa gilid. Gumaganda yung mukha niya every time tumitira ako. Tapos may tumatama na babad trip siya. Pero on that occasion, on the special ones, talagang nagpaparaya si Juancho. Thanks, love.
So, ayoko naman na, I don't want to give you guys a disservice of not going away or walking away this podcast na, or tuning out this podcast without something you've learned of being an adult.
Okay, so what is the
kasi
lesson?
yun talaga yun eh. Sacrificial love is this, what we talked about. Well, bakit? Totoo naman ah.
Okay.
That's what you call sacrificial love.
I take it all back. Feel na feel niya pala. Akala ko naman.
Hindi, gusto ko lang, syempre sabihin, nag-tune in pa tayo sa episode na to. Wala naman pala akong matututunan sa, sa adulting, di ba?
Tama.
Ano ang pakialam ko sa bakasyon niyang dalawang yan?
Tama.
Di ba? So,
Uy,
yan
hindi.
yun.
May lesson naman yung baka. Anong napulot mo na Sige nga. Okay, seryoso tanong. Meron ka bang life lessons? Maybe 2 or 3 na napulot mo from this particular Australia trip? Apart from you have to love your wife unconditionally. And yet announce it to the world when you do so.
Commitment is a very funny word.
Okay.
It is a very funny word. This Australia trip, in retrospect, has been planned
Yes.
for a very long time already.
That's true. And we were committed to be ninang and ninong sa kasal for the first time ever in Adelaide.
So, I'll just leave it at that. Second thing, but yun nga, just to finish that point off. Syempre, it's
There were
something-
sacrifices made.
There were sacrifices made. There were a lot of sacrifices made. At saka hindi lang yun. Syempre, di ba, it's very difficult to be traveling, period. What more with kids. Diba?
2 kids, 2 babies. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yun, number 1. Pangalawa, if you see us always, not always, pero parang palagi kaming wala sa bahay, lumalabas, di ba? We make it a point to plan, trips, is because this is what we want as a family. Hindi lang for the aesthetica, pero parang to what do you call this? Parang bigyan ng, what's the word I'm looking for? It rhymes with Hindi, ito na. To expose our kids to different types of cultures that they can, people that they can learn from as well. And syempre, iba yung patience na nakukuha ng mga kids natin because they're not just watching TV at home, X, Y, and Z. So, yun, malaking test of patience and resilience ang to travel to 3 cities and
Local flights yun
9-hour flight from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ako yun yung isa sa mga big takeaways ko at na-build up sa akin even more.
Yeah.
So, last point is that, di ba? Actually, marami. Kapag pumunta ka sa ibang bansa, at nalalaman mo yun nga, yung mga ganyan, yung, syempre, it's inevitable to compare where you are from. So, nalalaman mo yung, why is that? Why do you think that is? Na-engage ka sa mga cultural things that also parang trigger something in you to make decisions, diba? Just like what our friends made. And it also makes you, diba? Parang a critical thinker as well.
Yeah.
So, yun. Yun yung 3 ko.
Nice.
And, that's how you adulting.
That's how you adulting.
Ano ba? Adulting, di ba, is a verb? Tama ba?
That's how you do adulting. That's how you adult, dapat.
Adulting. That's,
Di
so,
ba?
oo nga, no? So, para ko sinabi, that's how you're running. So, mali.
Yes.
Tama?
Oh.
So, that's how you run.
adult.
Di ba?
Oh,
That's how you run. That's how you
exactly.
adult.
Yeah, so it's not...
My question is, you've been doing this for, 5 years already? More? 6?
6 na
Is
ba? 6 na, no?
adulting, is adulting in a dictionary?
I think so. It's in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Probably 2017? Hindi ko alam. A long time ago.
Okay. So, I digress.
Yes.
What was your 3 takeaways as we close?
So quickly, 3 things that I've learned. 1, that as a family, you have to learn to prioritize what really matters. And for us, what really matters was and will always be the well-being of our family. And I feel like by God's grace, we've been really doing a good job at that, like prioritizing the well-being of our children, the well-being of our marriage. And I feel like that trip to Australia really helped us. As most of our travels, as most of the things that we prioritize, like we're not very fancy people, we don't like a lot of branded stuff, we don't like a lot of luxurious things, but with travel, we are willing to spend and invest money in because we see how it positively affects our children and our marriage. Parang we just walk away from our trips so much more closer, refreshed. Tapos parang kitang-kita namin yung difference ng kids namin in the way that they're curious, they're open to new adventures, they're more sociable. They're like they grow up so quickly after a trip because I feel like they're pushed to be out of their comfort zone in their own environment, and then they're pushed to meet new people and see different cultures and see how the world works. Like, as in, world traveling is like world learning talaga for them. That's world education for them. And that's something that we as individuals valued even before getting into the marriage. Me, even more so, because I wanted to really live and travel the way that I did before. And I love that some of the things that people used to tell me about getting married early and motherhood did not come true. They say na, your life is over. Your fun times are over when you have children. Your fun times are over when you get married early. It actually just expanded by 3 more because now I get to see the world through my husband's eyes, through Eliam's eyes, and through Aggie's eyes, and it's even more beautiful. That's one. Pangalawa, I think the thing that I learned so much is that I'm actually content wherever I am as long as I'm with my family. So it used to be that I was telling Juancho because we when we were newly married, we were thinking about moving kasi parang, diba, it was New York and then it was Australia because we had family, we had friends who were telling us, you're a young couple, you have to experience living abroad. And that was something that I've always wanted to do. So for a while, there was serious movements that we did as a married couple before we had children to move to Australia and try out something, like even just for a year, right? And I was telling Juancho before the trip to Australia that this was either going to be a closure of some sort or a reignition of my desire to move out of the country. And the funny thing was, after we came home from Australia, it was really neither. It was more of like a message from God, kind of, and I don't want to put words into our Lord's mouth, but what was impressed in my heart was, I'm content wherever I am. Because wherever I am is not supposed to be the most privileged or most comfortable. It's not that. It's where God can use me the most. It's where God can use our family the most. It's where God is calling us to be at. And right now, it's here where we are living in the Philippines, in this beautiful country, surrounded by the people that we love. And pangatlo, that it's so important to take breaks talaga. Because before this trip, Juancho, we barely saw him for 3 months. As in, he was traveling so much, he was working so much, to the point that I would see sometimes, parang di ba napapansin natin, parang nagtatampo na si Eliam. Hindi siya lalapit kay Juancho kasi laging wala si Juancho. But then, after this Australia trip, umiiyak na si Eliam pag pupunta si Juancho sa work or pag-aalis kami. So parang that just taught me na yung time that we spend taking breaks and being with our family, although work is so important, is even more important. Because I see the effect, as little as Eliam is now, on him and on Aggie as well.
Yeah.
Kinikis na ni Aggie si Juancho, which did not happen before.
Yeah.
But after 3 weeks of exclusively being with their father and their mom, wala silang choice kundi to fall in love. So, those are the lessons and the stories from our 3-week Australia trip. Hopefully, I don't think may napulot silang anything, pero sana na-entertain kayo.
Sabihin nyo na lang sa amin kung ano yung takeaway. At saka guys, huwag nyo kalimutan yung giveaway Sumali kayo sa contest namin. Tsaka see you guys there.
That's right. Okay.
Tell your friends.
That's it. That's it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to use the hashtag Adulting with Joyce Pring and also check out www.joycepring.com for the show notes and tag me on social media with you know it at Joyce Pring. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Paalam!